Today we are going to be writing the equations of lines, taking given information and writing slope-intercept form, standard form of the equation of the line. The first thing that you have to remember is that, put this in red. You must have the slope of the line to write the equation. We have to be given or have to find the slope of the line every time, every problem. You have to have the slope. We are given that the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 0, -3. When we are given the slope and the intercept, this is M, this is B. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. All I have to do is take this and put it here, and this and put it there, if we're given the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope-intercept form for the equation of the line that has slope of 2 and passes through the point, or has a y-intercept of 0, -3, is y equals mx plus b. Now we have to take this and put it in standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. The 2x is on the other side of the equal sign. It's got to be over here with the y. So I'm going to start with y equals 2x minus 3. This has to be over there. It is positive 2x. That means the 2x is being added to -3. The sign in the front tells you what's happening with that number. So the 2x is being added to -3. That means to undo that, we do the opposite and we subtract 2x. If I subtract 2x on the right, I have to subtract 2x on the left. This becomes -2x plus y equals -3. I have x and y terms on the same side. The only thing that's wrong now is the x term has to be positive. So x and y on same side. X term positive. No fractions. So I've got to get rid of that negative. If I take and multiply the entire side by -1, that will go away. -1 times -2x is positive 2x. -1 times positive y is -y. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. X on the same side, X term is positive, no fractions. There is standard form. Slope, intercept, standard. Slope, intercept, standard. If you are given the slope and the y-intercept, the problem is fairly simple to do because you're just plugging the values in and then converting it to standard form. But this doesn't happen very often. Here, we're just told that this point and this point are on the line. That's it. You must have the slope of the line before you can write the equation. You have to have the slope of the line before you can write the equation. I don't have the slope. Well, we've learned back rise over run. It is also the difference in the y's over the difference in the x's. We cannot forget all of the stuff we've already learned. So if you'll remember, we gave 2 points. We had problems where we had 2 points and we had to find the slope of the line going through those 2 points. And we labeled x1, y1, x2, y2, so that I can easily plug those back in. Y1 is 2 minus whatever the y coordinate is of the second point. It's positive 7. We have to be careful if that's negative. We're going to see one in just a minute. Over x1 minus x2. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. A negative 5 over a negative 2 is positive 5 halves. We now know the slope. If we had the y-intercept, we could just plug right straight into y equals mx plus b, because we just found m, but we don't have b. So we have to use the point slope form that we learned on Tuesday. We didn't use it yet, but today we will be using it. Point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point, here's the x and y coordinates from the point, and there's the slope. That's why it's called point slope. So we plug the values in. Y1 is 2, x1 is 3, m is 5 halves. Y1 in for y1, x1 in for x1, m in for m. Then what I'm going to do is, first of all, I see there's a fraction, but before I do that, I got a fraction with parentheses. So we've always learned that when we were solving equations, first thing you always try to get rid of is the parentheses. If I can get rid of the parentheses, bam. That's always number one. Get rid of any parentheses. So I can do distributive property. 5/2 times x is 5x over 2. 5 over 2, x over 1, tops, bottoms. Plus 5 times -3 is -15. And 2 times 1 is 2. 5/2 times x is 5/2 x. 5/2 times -3 is -15 halves. Multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms. Now I can get rid of these fractions. Both have a denominator of 2, so I'm going to multiply this side by 2, and I'm going to multiply this side by 2. Over here, distributive property. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times -2 is -4. Then distributive property. This is 2 over 1. 5x over 2 times 2 over 1. The 2's divide out. We are left with what's on top. That's why I'm doing this, is so that I get the stuff on the top and get rid of the fractions. -15 halves times 2 over 1. The 2's divide out. I'm left with -15. Fractions are gone. That's what we were hoping for. When we get to where we don't have any parentheses or we don't have any fractions and we have an equation that looks like this, we're now ready to convert to slope-intercept and convert to standard form. So I'm going to take this and move it over here. This has to be turned into this. Okay. So this has to be turned into this. That means I've got to get y by itself. That's the whole thing about slope-intercept. Y equals. Y equals. Everything else is on the other side. Y is by itself. Here is y. 2 written next to the variable means multiplication. The 4 is being subtracted. We get rid of addition or subtraction first. The opposite of -4 is +4. If I add 4 on that side, I have to add 4 on that side. And the reason I wrote it up underneath the 15 is because those two things can be combined together. I don't put it under the 5x because there is no x with the 4 to combine. These will combine. Over here, these add out. We're left with 2y. Over here, 5x. -15 +4 is -11. We are closer to y equals. Y equals everything else. The only thing that's wrong here now is I've got a 2 being multiplied by the y. Number written next to a variable means multiplication. So I'm going to divide by 2, so those will divide out. If I do that over there, I have to do that over here. The 2's divide out. We're left with y. Stuff over 2, I can write 2 separate fractions. 5x over 2 plus -11 over 2. Simplify. Because I don't want to multiply by 2 because then I'll go back to here. We got to get y by itself. I got that now. I'm just going to simplify this stuff. I'm going to pull the 5/2 out and write it in front of the x. This does not reduce, so I get -11/2. There is the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points in slope-intercept. Which means if I put 3 in for x and 2 in for y, both sides of that would come out to be the same thing. If I put 5 in for x and 7 in for y, and I did all the arithmetic over here, I would end up with 7, because 7 is over here for y. All of this stuff would add up and come up to be 7 when I put 5 in for x. These 2 points lie on that line, which means that when you put the x value in, the y value in, you get a true statement. Both sides of the equal sign are the same. This is in slope-intercept. We now need standard form. I can use this like we've been doing, going from slope to standard form, or it might be a little bit easier to come back to this from point slope and convert it. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. The x and the y have to be on the same side. Y is over here, x is over here. So this is not in standard form. This 5x needs to be over here. This -4 needs to be over there. So this has got to get over there. This has got to get over there. It doesn't matter which one I do first. I tend to start from the left and move to the right. The 4 is being subtracted from 2y. The 2 is being multiplied. And we're not trying to get y by itself anyway. So we don't want to mess with 2y. We're close to at least having this part of standard form right here. This has got to go. It's being subtracted. I'm going to add it. It is a constant. I'm going to add the 4 to this constant. -4 and +4 add out. I get 2y equals 5x minus 11. Okay, so I'm getting closer. Now, if this 5x could be over here, we'd be even closer. That 5x is being added. We need to get rid of it. 5x is being added to -11. 5x added to -11. We're going to undo it by subtracting 5x. On the left, those don't combine, so we have -5x plus 2y. These add out. We get -11. We're almost there. We're almost there. X and y are on the same side. There are no fractions, but the x term has to be positive. So I'm going to multiply this side by -1 and this side by -1. This becomes 5x minus 2y equals +11. Here is the same line, but in standard form. Hopefully, some of you are seeing that we have one problem that uses almost every single thing we have learned how to do. The only thing I don't see in this problem is percent sign. Unit 1, fractions. Unit 3, integers. So do you see also that what we were doing yesterday is just one piece? Here's one piece to the whole problem, because we're looking for this and this. And this is the process that has to be done to get there. Let's do another one. Given 2 points on the line, I don't see that it says slope is. You must have the slope of the line before you can write the equation. You must have the slope of the line before you can write the equation. I don't have the slope. I have 2 points. Slope is rise over run. It is also y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. That is on your formula sheet, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yes. So we did these. We labeled our points, x1, y1, x2, y2. The thing we have to be careful here, though, is that our coordinates are negative. There still has to be a subtraction sign in between. So y1 is -1 minus whatever y2 is, which is -2, over x1 minus x2. Two negatives written next to each other is a not. Not is a double negative. A double negative is a positive. Not. -4 plus 5. -1 plus 2 is +1. -4 plus 5 is +1. +1 over +1 is 1. Well, that's going to be nice because we don't have a fractional slope, which means some of our work's going to be easier. I can go now because in order to use slope-intercept, we have to have M and we have to have B. Here's M, slope. I do not have a point that has 0 for the x coordinate. If I did, the y part would be B. I don't have it. So we have to use point slope. M goes in for M, x1 goes in for x1, y1 goes in for y1. We just have to be careful about the negatives. Y minus y1 is -1. M is 1. X1 is -4 minus x1, which is -4. This is y plus 1, not, positive. This is x plus 4, not, positive. 1 outside of parentheses just drops the parentheses. 1 times x is x, 1 times 4 is 4. We've cleaned all of this up into a nice, neat package. So I'm going to take this over here, y plus 1 equals x plus 4, and start putting it in the format that I need. Slope intercept means the y is by itself. The only thing that's over there with the y is the plus 1. There's an understood 1 in front of that y, but it doesn't matter. To get rid of this 1 that's being added to y, 1 added to y, we subtract 1. Subtract 1 there, subtract 1 there. These add out. These combine. Y is by itself. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Now we know what b is. Up here we didn't. Got to write it in standard form. I'm going to go back to y plus 1 equals x plus 4. Or if you want to just take this one, it doesn't matter. It's going to get the same answer either way. But I need ax plus by equals c. X and y on the same side. That's the first thing we got to worry about. X is on the right, y is on the left. That doesn't look like that. This has got to go over there. We don't have any constants over here. This has to go over there. So plus 1, subtract 1. Y equals x plus 3. There's our standard form again. But we need this over here. Plus 1x. Subtract x, subtract x. Negative x plus y equals 3. Well, we're almost there. X and y together, constant on the other side, no fractions, but the x term has to be positive. Multiply both sides by a -1, and you change the sign of everything in the problem. We need the x to be positive. -1 times -x is positive x. -1 times y is -y. 3 times -1 is -3. There is the line in standard form. Slope intercept y equals mx plus b. Y equals. This is in standard form. Ax plus by equals c. Ax plus by. X and y on the same side. Ooh, slope, m. They give us the slope. Slope intercept is y equals mx plus b. I can put -2/3 in right here for m. B is, well, poopy. I need 0 something to be able to put that in for b. I don't have that. I have the slope, and I have a point that's on the line, but I don't have the y-intercept. So I don't need to find slope because it's given. So I don't have to do the y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. I can go right straight to y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Here is x1, y1. X1 goes in for X1. Y1 goes in for Y1. M goes in for M. Y minus Y1 is 2 equals negative 2/3 times X minus X1 is negative 5. Parentheses, 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 parentheses. Distributive property. Negative 2/3 times X is negative 2X over 3, because that's over 1. This is going to be plus. Negative negative is a plus. Over 1. 5 times the negative 2x is negative 10. I'm sorry, not negative 2x. It's the negative 2/3 times 5, and I get negative 10. Remember, this is now positive, but I get negative 10, negative 2 times 5, and 3 times 1. We got rid of the parentheses. Now we got to get rid of these fractions so that then we can go to putting stuff in standard form and slope-intercept. To get rid of the fraction, we multiply by the denominator. Distributive property, 3 times y, 3 times negative 2. So I'm going to move up here, 3y minus 6. 3y minus 6. Distributive property. We're doing this so that the denominators go away. 3 divides out with 3. We're left with negative 2x. 3 times negative 2x over 3. 3's divide out, negative 2x. Plus negative 10 times 3 over 1. 3's divide out, we get negative 10. Let's kind of clean that up a little bit. I could have just gone ahead and written that this is minus 10. Once you've gotten rid of the parentheses and once you got rid of the fractions, we have a nice, neat package that we can then move over here and start getting them in the correct form. We don't ever leave an equation in point-slope form. Point-slope helps us find slope-intercept and helps us find standard. Slope-intercept is y equals. Nothing else over there, y equals. So I need to get rid of the 3. I need to get rid of the negative 6. The 3 is being multiplied. When a number is written next to a variable, it means multiplication. The 6 is being subtracted from 3y. 6 subtracted from 3y. We undo addition or subtraction first, so we add 6, add 6. I'm doing the opposite. Doing the opposite. These add out. We're left with 3y. Over here, negative 2x, and then we can put together negative 10 and positive 6. That becomes negative 4. We need y equals. Y equals. Nothing else. Y equals. That 3 got to go. The 3 is being multiplied. When a number is written next to a variable, it means multiplication. The only way to undo that is to do the opposite, which is to divide by 3. The opposite of adding is subtracting. The opposite of subtracting is adding. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. The opposite of dividing is multiplying. If I divide this side by 3, I've got to divide that side by 3. These divide out. That's why we did it, so those can be crossed out and leave y. Here, I can create two fractions, negative 2x over 3 plus negative 4 over 3. We need y by itself, everything else on the other side. I have that. I just need to clean this up. Do any simplifying. This is negative 2/3 times x, just pulling the x out to the side of the fraction. This is minus 4/3. There is slope intercept. Y equals mx plus b. Now we need standard form. X and y have to be on the same side. I'm going to go back to my nice neat package, pull my package over. That has to be over here. That has to be over there. It doesn't matter which one I do first. 6 is being subtracted from 3y. 6 subtracted from 3y. I need to add 6. Add 6. This gives me 3y equals negative 2x minus 4. This has to go over there. We are subtracting 2x. 2x is being subtracted from negative 4. The sign in the front tells us what that number is doing. The 2x is being subtracted from the 4. So we do the opposite. We add 2x, add 2x. This gives me 2x plus 3. These add out. We're left with negative 4. X and y are on the same side. There are no fractions. We need to look, is our x term positive? Yes, we are done. There is standard form. Ax plus by equals c. X and y on the same side, constant on the other side. Ax plus by equals c. Yes. Yes. If you get a fraction for the intercept, then yes, I would leave it. It's not necessary to change that into a mixed number. If we had to graph this, which is what is coming next week, we're going to be graphing. We'll have to take this. You might have to change that to a mixed number to see where on the y-axis that point is crossing. All right, we got time. We can do one more. Oh my goodness. You must have slope before you can write equation. Well, it looks like I ain't given nothing. They didn't tell me nothing. Well, yeah, they did. The graph crosses the y-axis right here. What does that mean? Remember why the form called slope-intercept is called slope-intercept. Nobody knows what that is? It is the y-intercept. Intercept means to cross. So the y-intercept of this line is the point 0, 1. That means that is B. Well, dagnabbit, if I had the slope, then I can go right straight to y equals mx plus b and put 1 in there and put the slope in there. Slope is rise over run. We did a ton of these back 2 weeks ago or so. You start at the leftmost point. You start by going up or down. Rise means go up or down. So to get to this point, we would go up 1, 2, 3, 4. The rise is positive 4. The run, 1, 2, positive 2. 4 over 2 is 2. There is my slope. This is M. Slope, intercept. Y equals mx plus b. On a graph, the spot where it crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept, and that right there is going to be b. Then use rise over run and determine how do I get from the leftmost point to the rightmost point. Or if you want to go from this point to this point, you can do that. If I start here, we always go up or down first, rise. So I can't go left or right. I got to go up or down. I go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 4. Then I go backwards in the backwards direction, 1, 2. Backwards is negative. Negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. There is slope-intercept. I need standard. AX plus BY equals C. AX plus BY. X and Y on the same side. Take slope-intercept. This has to move over here because I have Y by itself. X is on the right. I need it over here. There is an understood plus sign in front. The 2x is being added to 1. 2x added to 1. We undo that by subtracting 2x. Subtract 2x. Negative 2x plus y equals 1. Well, we're almost there. X and y on the same side. Constant on the right. No fractions, but the x term has to be negative. Positive. It's negative. We've got to fix it. Two x minus y equals negative 1. AX plus by equals c. X and y on the same side, no fractions. X term is positive. All right, here's the next one. This picture is giving us two pieces of information. Every graph will give us two pieces of information. What is one of those pieces? Okay, a couple more of you. What piece of information does this, at least one of the pieces of information that this gives us? Haven't heard from two of you. Okay, still waiting to hear from two of you. All right, yes, y'all mentioned both. One is the y-intercept. That's where the line crosses the y-axis. That point right there, it's the point 0, -2, which means b is -2. The other thing that it gives us is the slope, which is rise over run when we're looking at a picture. You start at the leftmost point. You rise up or down. I go down 1, 2. I go forward 1, 2, 3. slope is negative 2/3. Slope intercept is y equals mx plus b. Here is m, here is b. Y equals negative 2/3 x minus 2. There is the equation of this line in slope-intercept form. If we put 0 in for x, we would get negative 2 for y. 0 times this is 0 minus 2 is negative 2. The point 0, negative 2 is on the graph. We need it now in standard form. Standard form. I want you to turn it into standard form and tell me what you get. We are changing into standard form. Waiting on 2. Okay. All right, we need ax plus by equals c. Ax plus by. The x is over here. There's a fraction. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of the fraction. y equals 3's divide out. We're left with negative 2x. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. This 2x has to be on the left with the 3y. It's being subtracted. 2x subtracted from negative 6. Opposite is to add 2x. 2x plus 3y equals negative 6. X and y are on the same side. Constant on the other side. No fractions. The x term is positive. We're done. Give me all of the info from that graph. All right, looks like most of you got that right. 1 or 2 of you off a little bit. So, y-intercept is the point where it crosses the y-axis, right there. That is the point 0, 2. So the y-intercept b is 2. Slope is rise over run. Start at a point. I start at the leftmost point, try to go to that point. Rise, we go up or down. So we go up 1, that's positive 1. We go forward 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/4. So that means we can take slope-intercept form and plug M in for M, B in for B. You tell me what is standard form. All right, for some of you, the negative is what's going to kill you every time. Multiply by 4 so we get rid of the fraction. Four y equals, this gives us 1x plus 8. This has to be over there. It is positive, so I need to subtract it. Subtract negative x plus 4y equals 8. The x has to be positive. I have to multiply both sides by negative 1. I get x minus 4y equals negative 8. Almost half of you got positive 8. If I were going to bet money, if I were a betting person and I was going to bet money, my bet is that you did not write this down. You are not writing the steps, and you will miss them. They love to catch, because on the GED, here's what you're probably going to see. The answer choices would be x minus 4y equals negative 8, x minus 4y equals 8, x plus 4y equals negative 8, x plus 4y equals positive 8. So you have to be careful of the negatives. And if you are not writing the steps down, you are going to miss it every time. This one, I want you to do all the way through. Tell me what the two pieces of information are. Tell me what the y-intercept form is. Tell me what standard form is. And give me all of that at one time. Yes. I finally got one. All right. We had y equals negative 3/5 x minus 2 as our slope-intercept. Intercept of negative 2, slope down 3, forward 5. Then take that, we need it in ax plus by equals c form. This needs to be over there. We got to get rid of the fraction. Multiply both sides by 5. 5y. 5's divide out, negative 3x, negative 2 times 5, negative 10. To get rid of this negative 3x, do the opposite and add 3x, add 3x. Now we have x and y on the same side. There are no fractions. The x term is positive, so there is no need to multiply by a negative. This is standard form. I want you to do 1A. Here you're just taking slope-intercept form, changing it to standard form. We need ax plus by equals c. X and y have to be on the same side. This 2x is being added to the negative 1. 2x added to negative 1. The opposite is to subtract 2x. Negative 2x plus y equals negative 1. The x term has to be positive. Multiply by negative 1 on both sides. This gives me 2x minus y equals 1. Do 2b. Be careful of your negatives. That caught quite a few of you. Okay. We need ax plus by equals c. Get rid of the fraction. Multiply both sides by the denominator. y equals 4's divided out 3x. This needs to move over, so subtract 3x. Subtract 3x, we get negative 3x plus 4y equals 0. This has to be positive. This gives me positive 3x minus 4y equals 0. Do 2a. We're going from standard form to slope-intercept form. Standard to slope-intercept. All right, I think that's everybody. We got to get y by itself. So we're multiplying by negative 4. We are adding 3x. The 3x is going to have to go first. Undo addition or subtraction. These add out. Negative 4y equals. This is negative 3x plus 8. We have to divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. Negative 4's divide out. This we can split into two fractions. We get negative 3x over negative 4 plus 8 over negative 4. y equals, this becomes positive 3/4 at x. This becomes negative 2. Again, if you missed it and you got the sign wrong, you probably didn't write all the steps down. All right, do 2b. Looks like that is everybody. All right. So we need y equals mx plus b. This is a positive x. That needs to go over here. So I need to subtract x. Subtract x. 5y equals negative x plus 15. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. Y equals two fractions. Negative x over 5 plus 15 over 5. This is negative 1/5 x. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Looks like for the most part y'all are getting it. All right, now one of these. Do 3a. Line passing through these 2 points. Go back and look at our example. I'll give you a hint. You've got to find the slope because it's not given. You're going to have to use point slope form. And I want you to get to y equals mx plus b. You can stop there, but tell me what you get for slope intercept form. Well, we're now doing putting this in standard form, but I have 2 folks that haven't answered yet. Some of you went on and did standard form. That's fine. All right. We're getting close to being out of time. So for standard form, this needs to be over there. This needs to go to the other side. So I'm going to add 9. Add 9. Y equals 2x minus 1. This needs to go to the other side. It is positive. So I'm going to subtract 2x. Subtract 2x. Negative 2x plus y equals negative 1. We have to multiply both sides by negative 1 so that we get a positive x. This gives me 2x minus y equals positive 1. All right, and I'm going to do this one for you quick. We are given 2 points. We are not given the slope. You have to have the slope before you can write the equation of a line. Slope is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. x1, y1, x2, y2. So I get negative 3 minus negative 6 over negative 1 minus negative 3. This is negative 3 plus 6. This is negative 1 plus 3. Negative 3 plus 6 is positive 3. Negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2. There is my slope. I do not have a y-intercept. It would have to be the point 0 something to be the y-intercept. So I have to use point slope y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus -3, 3/2 times x minus -1. This is y plus 3. This is x plus 1, distributive property. Y plus 3 equals 3/2 x plus 3/2. Get rid of the fractions. 2 times y plus 3 equals 3x over 2 plus 3 over 2 times 2. 2y plus 6 equals 2's divide out 3x. 2's divide out 3. Then to do slope intercept, we're going to take 2y plus 6 equals 3x plus 3. I need to get y by itself. I'm going to subtract 6. 2y equals 3x minus 3. Divide by 2, divide by 2. We get y equals, this becomes 3x over 2 plus -3 over 2, which is 3/2 x minus 3/2 for slope intercept. Y equals mx plus b. For standard form, we have 2y plus 6 equals 3x plus 3. This has to go over there. This has to go over there. Subtract 6, subtract 6. 2y equals 3x minus 3. Subtract 3x, subtract 3x. -3x plus 2y equals -3. Get rid of the negative. And I'm kind of running out of room. This is going to be 3x minus 2y equals 3.
This has been a production of D&J Designs and MathMan 1962. If you like this video, click on the thumbs up. If you want to be notified when new videos are posted, click the bell. And if you want to see more videos like this one, click on the subscribe button.